about this topic when I was downstairs, and let's think about this for a minute. Are you really saving money with the gray screen paint? And technically, you're not saving money with the gray screen paint. Number one, there's a lot of stuff you're going to be missing from your screen from the door. Number one will be contrast. Contrast, you are definitely will be losing, and not only will you be losing contrast, if you do have a projector that does have a high contrast capability, you will never be able to utilize what you paid for. And the reason why is because there is no projector on the face of the planet that is going to produce a contrast level heavy enough to make a white screen or a gray screen produce a black level like a black screen. So that means you're going to have to improve your contrast levels. You're going to have to spend some money for a projector with a somewhat decent contrast level, and that's not going to be cheap. All right. Your colors, you're going to have to spend the money for a very high color capability projector because, again, and even if you do have the money for that, you're still going to have to calibrate. You're going to have to calibrate. As I said, we're in the forum sites all the time, and the forum sites and people have very expensive projectors, and these projectors are calibrated by professionals. So, yeah, you have to calibrate. What about your environment? Well, your environment's going to need some changing too because you can't use that screen in a fully lit environment because, again, your screen's going to wash out. We've done it with 5,000 projectors and still the screen will wash out. As I said before, some people feel that the higher the luminance on the projector, the better the image you're going to be able to pick up in a fully lit environment. Not so. If your screen's projecting out, showing off a lot of white light, that means you're going to fade your screen even faster because you're adding more light to the environment. You think about that. Ambient light controlled environment, 5,000 lumen projector hitting your screen. Yeah, you're washing your screen out very, very fast. I can see we're showing off this demonstration of how beautiful the image looks. Incredible, doesn't it? Anyway, for those people that we deal with who have the money to pay for $3,000, $5,000, $20,000 projection screens, they're even losing money at the end of the day because they're spending money for a screen that clearly we can overshadow without a problem whatsoever. Now, as I said before, when you're watching demonstrations and someone's using an expensive projector, even with the P2 is an expensive projector at $3,000, you really can't tell your customers that you're saving the money, and it's not quality. Because when it comes down to it, quality means you're going to be using a projector that's below average. That's quality. When you get a screen that can produce on a projector below average, that is quality at the end of the day. When you're using a projector that has interesting capabilities, that's not quality because in the day, how does your customer relate to that? All right. As an example, I don't want anybody getting upset with this because I know you will. If you're selling your products for 160, you're selling your products for 80, 90, whatever it may be, what kind of projector are you using in the demonstration? If you're using a projector that is around $2,000, $3,000 in that price range, will your customer with a projector such as mine or with any of the 720p's we have here get the same results? No. You know why? Because we had the product here. We didn't get the same results that we saw in the demonstration being displayed on the video because we didn't have the exact same caliber projector. Which means in order for you to get the same projector and the same image, you're going to have to spend the $3,000. That's the only way you're going to be able to achieve that. That's why we notice when looking at customer demonstrations, they did not have the exact same picture match, even close to it, due to the fact that they didn't have the same caliber projector. So how would you be saving money if the product is $80 or $90 and you still have to go out and spend the money for a $3,000 projector? Where did you save? People don't think about that one. Mind you, this is a screen that's being hit with a 2 million to 1 contrast, right? Your projector doesn't have 2 million to 1. So you think for a minute that a projector of 2,000 is going to equal a projector of 2 million? If that was the case, why would you spend $3,000 for the projector? Just spend the one for 720p at 2,000 to do the same thing, right? It won't. So that's why when we watch a lot of the demonstrations with high-end projection screens or with people we see from time to time on these forum sites, due to the fact they'll have these high-end projectors to make up for what the screen can't do. So no, you're not saving any money at all, period. Because at the end of the day, you are still stuck in a dark environment. You are still using a calibrated projector. Doesn't make a difference. And the more money you spend, the better the image is going to get for you. Where in our technology, well, you can use a $109 projector. My projector behind me, which is a Chrissy, 720p, around 2,000 contrast ratio, and These are our settings, which I've showed over and over again. My brightness on my projector, normal, see normal, my brightness is 9. And if you know anything about Christie's projectors, the eco mode is actually in Whisper. So my projector sits in Whisper at 720p, and the price tag that my customers will pay for this projector behind me, the most, about $250. The least, probably about $100 to $139. That's all they'll pay. And they won't have to calibrate. They don't have to be stuck in dark environments. None of that nonsense at the end of the day. Where if you say, well, I'm spending about $80 to $89 for a screen paint, but still, you're not going to get the same quality. Again, you're going to have to spend the money for the projector that's being used in the demonstration. The projector is displaying on my screen is $100 or $109. And if my customers buy the same projector, this is the results you're going to get. But are you going to get the same results over a projector if your projector is $100 versus a projector that is $3,000? You're not. That's why I'm always against people who basically use high-end projectors in demonstrations, because it doesn't relate to everybody. So those who can afford the $3,000 will get the same image, and those who don't will not. And even keep in mind, after you spend the $3,000, you still can't basically do the same contrast over as a black screen. You still can't pick up your colors correctly, and you're still going to have to be in a dark environment. If that wasn't the case, then you would see that screen displayed outside, or even in an environment like this. That's not we call fake demonstrations, fake ambient light controlled demonstrations, or fake fully lit demonstrations where objects are blocking windows. You can see dark pockets of dark light in corners. That is a fake demonstration. And in order to show off a contrast level, keep in mind, this is pretty sad, and I hate to say it, but it's true. When you have a projector with a 2,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio, you spent $3,000 for it, and your projector sits 2 feet, 2 inches from a screen, and you have to literally get up on top of the screen to show a contrast level. That's pretty bad. So, are you really saving money? You're not. You're not saving anything at all. You have a product on your wall, number one, that's been outdated, it's been 9 years old. Number two, anybody can make it. You can go to Behr, Silver Screen, 1, 2, and 3. You can go with Sherwin-Williams. Any of that would match it, period. Some of the gray screen paint products I've seen people displaying on the forum sites would match it easily. They throw on YouTube to put up his product, that would match it. So you're really not saving any money, because at the end of the day, a $40 or $23 gallon of paint will match the same product with no problem. It matches a Digital One with no problem. So I know to match that. We've already done the test, we already know. So at the end of the day, you're not saving anything. And then on top of that, you're still going to have to spend the money for an expensive projector to make it for what the screen can't do. Now, as you've seen in our demonstration, we can go in and we can swap out our projectors. Which means if I don't want to use a 1080p projector, I can swap it out for 720p. The projector I had downstairs was that projector over there, which was an LWU505 projector. Price tag for that projector only cost me $500. That is a top of the line for us. $500, that's it. That's still saving our customers money. When my customers come in to buy, they know that they're going to get a 100% contrast level, because like I said, the screen's black. Gray screens can't produce a 100% contrast level, and with that, they're going to be able to produce amazing colors without calibrating. Very easy to apply, no multiple color applications, no headaches at the end of the day. And we don't do our demonstrations on high-end expensive projectors, which means if they buy the projector behind me, they can get the same results. In order to get the same quality from the projectors using other demonstrations, you're going to spend some money in order to get that same image, because there's no way in the world you're going to be able to produce that same quality image on a $3,000 projector versus a 720p. Not going to happen. So you're going to spend some money. Let's show you what our customers get. Now, the beautiful thing about the Black Widow 38, it has the ability to produce outstanding white levels for a screen that is actually 4 times, sorry about that, I don't like the whole thing, 4 times darker than any technology you've ever developed. I told you the most dangerous screen you can have on the market is a black screen. An ultra black screen can receive and accept white light. So where are you saving any money? Our screens can take out certified screens that cost $3,000, $5,000. A gray screen paint product can't do that. That's why they can't pass the over 18 screen certified demonstration. Can't even use it in a fully lit environment. Clearly says they're not ambient light rejection, which means you can't use it in a fully lit environment. And again, you're going to have to spend a lot of money for a projector in order to get the image to look like it did in the demonstration. Well, my customers only have to pay $100. Now you may say, hey, look, but your paint's $400 or $500. Yeah, it's $400 or $500. But at the end of the day, look at a fully lit environment, cheaper projector. Consider the fact that they'll pay $109. And then we got the sample, the other kit we have, which is around $209. Sample sheet from the Surface we have here is $28. So altogether, you paid more, you actually paid less than what you pay for a person who's going to have to spend money for a $2,000 or $3,000 projector to get the exact same image to pop up. And still, even if you buy the projector, you're not going to be using contrast, your colors are going to wash out, and you still can't even use it in a fully lit environment. Let's just say if somebody went out and bought a gallon of our product. That's $749. You may say, well, that's a lot of money. But that technology is be a $4,000 to $5,000 projection screen. And even the experts in the forum site can see that. Or on a projector that cost me $500. So for the individuals that are going to go out and spend $3,000, $5,000 for a projection screen, a 100-inch, you're talking about a screen that can paint up to a 230-inch screen that can easily take out any certified with no problem. Ultra short throw or long. Can maintain an image outside without a problem even after a snowstorm. And that's still cheaper. Now, the last thing they want to do is a projector comparison specification. You don't want to do that. My specification on my projector over here versus a P2. My price for my projector versus a P2. A P2 that has a 2,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio and can't even produce a contrast level, even outside, even inside, in a well-lit environment. And my projector only has a 2,000 to 3,000. Are you kidding me? I told you at the end of the day, it comes down to the screen. Let me show you where you can't go. I could do this outside if I wanted to. A gray screen would wash out completely. So we went from an ultra white level showing skin tones, beautiful white levels, and now we're in complete darkness. 2,000,000 to 1 contrast, you can't go there. Not in this environment, you can't. You would have to be in a dark environment to do it. A poorly lit environment with very little light pushing through a door or a window. You couldn't do this. Now, this is for you naysayers. You can understand how this works, not to be disrespectful or any way whatsoever. You see my environment? Look at this. Move from side to side. Do you see how much light we're using in here? See how bright my walls? That's what I like to do the area in white in here. When you watch a demonstration displaying a contrast level, the person should never, ever walk up on the screen. They should be at the same distance on where the projector is sitting. When you watch your TV shows, how close is your chair sitting to your screen? If you have to get that close to be able to maintain a contrast level and show a contrast level, something is wrong. And especially when the projector is sitting right up on top of the screen, something is extremely wrong. So I want you to look at this very carefully because I see your comments and your comments are quite, I'm sorry to be rude, but they're sad. And not to be rude here. You're giving compliments to a product that, again, in the day is obsolete and doesn't work. This is what you're supposed to be able to see in a fully lit environment. You notice there's no shadows, no dark spots. And mind you, we did this yesterday with sunlight coming through the window. Look around. Just look at how it's done. Now, if you notice, if I'm going to show you an object, I don't have to stand over top of it. Now, the reason why I'm saying this, no, I shouldn't say that because these could be people for the first time buying and don't know any better. I do apologize for that one. So just to show you and educate you how you're supposed to see a contrast level, this is how it's supposed to be done. So I do apologize for that comment because, again, you might not even know what you're really looking at. Again, like I said, these individuals actually depend on people who don't know better. That's why they can't walk into a form site, because they will get ripped apart in there, because those people in there are not the kind of people you can pull the wool over top their eyes. But this is what you need to look for. When you're looking for a demonstration that's displaying those contrast levels, even white levels, you must look for a fully lit environment. You don't want any dark pockets of light or none of that nonsense. Now, again, facing where that apartment would be at, the windows would be right about here. The door would be right about there. The door light, when it's opened up, would not make any contact. As you see, it goes darker and darker in that demonstration. That's why the corner in here was completely dark and you couldn't make out the objects. That's not supposed to be in a fully lit demonstration. A true fully lit demonstration means you can see every corner in the floor. That's a true demonstration. Corners at the top, there should be no shadows. Hope I'm not making you dizzy. And your screen should be to maintain a 100% contrast level without you walking up on top of the screen. And if you notice that the black level that's being displayed there, my screen is actually darker than the black level. No, right there. Now, the reason why they have to use those particular expensive projectors, as I said before, because it has to make up for what the screen can't do. That's why they buy them. Oh, it improves the contrast levels, improves the color, it improves everything. That's why they buy it. And then they'll go on video and say, hey, look, dark ambient light environment. Why, if you have a projector that powerful, why is the environment that dark? Shouldn't need it. Not with that machine. Shouldn't have to go through all that. But they'll go, look how the contrast levels look. And they get right up on top of the screen to show you that. If you have to be that close to a screen to see a contrast level, that is pretty bad. I just thought about that for a split second, so maybe they don't know. Because like I said, they're hoping to get people that will buy from them that don't know. And I'm here to show you this is what you need to look for. With our technology, same way. Look for those white levels. Look for that screen to be to produce that image in a fully lit environment, because black screens are not supposed to be to produce images in fully lit environments due to the fact that the screen is black. It's going to have a harder time picking up white light. That's why we like to do in fully lit environments. I can show a lot of white levels off. So you're not at the end of the day saving any money. Pretty much you can make the product yourself. Very easy to do. Like I said, we can make it back in the day. And if it's not us, you can go to any other YouTuber. They post theirs too. You can make it yourself. Go to any form site, they post them too. Now, if he hasn't bought these products and done these side-by-sides, like I said, why would you buy it? Let's go over here and let's get Cheetah.
The key to finding the smartest mortgages, NerdWallet's easy to read reviews.
So that's what you need to look for, and you need to ask questions. We love when people ask questions. Go ahead, knock yourself out. We got test demonstrations to back up everything you can possibly think of. Home theater is a big investment. It is. You pay for your projector, you pay for your sound system, seating, chairs, everything with decorations. It's a good amount of money. Even if you're doing it on a budget, it's still money at the end of the day. It's your money. And you have to look at the projectors that are being used in the environment. How much does that projector cost? Because at the end of the day, if the projector is a cheaper, lower model and it's producing an image like that, and you can clearly see that the projector has no control over it. Let's see where we're going from side to side. There you go. My walls are bone white. Matter of fact, they're more than bone white. My walls are using a paint called extra white, which means they're whiter than white. That's why we chose to use that particular product, because we want the walls to be stone white. have to show a difference. Yeah, that's why I like the lens shift projectors, because you can easily do that. So you're not really saving any money with a great product. A great product, if the person cannot back up their product to any of the other products they have out there on the market, you can make it yourself easily. 40 bucks, $23 a gallon, however you want to do it. If they can't back it up and they haven't done the demonstration, then that's a red flag right there. If they're using a high-end, high-power projector in the demonstration, an expensive projector, that's a huge red flag, because they're using that projector to actually enhance the color, contrast, and whatever they need to do to make the image look good. That right there, for some people saying, well, that's a $5,000 projector, that's a 5,000 lumen projector. Yeah, it is. It's a 5,000 lumen projector, but that projector cost me $500. Projector behind me cost me $109. The projector sitting on the floor, which is the ultra short, though, cost me 60 bucks. That's why I sat there and had a conversation with the fellow who had the gray screen, and I said, how much you pay for your projector? Because mine only cost me $109. And this projector sits in eco mode at under factory settings. So no, you're not saving any money at all, period. You're not really saving anything at all, period. You're still going to have to go out and you're still going to have to spend the money for that projector to get that same image. If that was the case, and the person who was showing off the image with the hotel Transylvania, the kids' dreadlocks in the back, his curls would have been a deep red, they were washed out. The female that was sitting up on the roof with the 4K, I think it was a short throw or ultra short throw projector, a ViewSonic, one of those. The image was so washed out so badly that the black bars from the top to the bottom were blended into the screen. You're not supposed to see that at all. You're supposed to see black bars from the top to the bottom, not all blended in together. It would look just like any of the videos he displays would have looked exactly like the screen. The only ones that look exactly like the screens are the ones that are actually in a pitch black environment. You have to be in the dark to somewhat bring up that image, and they're so close up on the screen you really can't make out what's what. But you're not going to get the same image as a P2. That is never going to happen. Even if you calibrate all day long, you're still not going to get it. You got to buy that. You got to spend that $3,000. There's something close enough to it. And on top of that, if the projector's calibrated, well, what happens to those of you that are not calibrated? You're going to have to calibrate your projector, right, to get the exact same quality, right? So say if you don't want to calibrate, say if you don't know how to calibrate at the end of the day, you're still going to have to. If you're going to get that exact same image that they're displaying in the video, guess what you're going to have to do? You got to go calibrate, and you got to spend the money for an expensive projector. I have yet to see one demonstration yet that matched the exact same screen. Not one. And again, bottom line is, where's your contrast? If you want to show up a screen's ability to be able to pull off quality, where are the outside demonstrations? Not one. So actually, at the end of the day, you're actually losing money. You're going to spend more money for a projector. You're going to have to calibrate it. You will be in a dark environment. And at the end of the day, you could have made that product for $23. So actually, you could have bought it for $23. Digital One does the same thing. Black, silver screen, silver, glitter. Same thing. You're all made the same way. Some people glitter, some with less. Now, just like when I had people come into the room, and not to be rude, they came in and said, well, hey, look, we can do the same thing. I went out there and I said, look, all you naysayers, you can meet me outside. I was outside at around 4:51 on a dual setup outside. 2 black 150-inch screens outside. And I said, this is for the naysayers. Meet me outside. Not one video was found of any of them outside at 1:50, at 4 o'clock, 4:53 in the evening. Not one. I displayed all snow levels. I actually displayed contrast levels. Not one. We have a demonstration called the 1100 Lumen Challenge. It's been up there for 2 years. Never been matched. And that's old technology. So at the end of the day, where are you saving money at? In the long run, you're still going to have to spend money for a $3,000 projector or $2,000 or somewhere close to that thing. So where are you saving any money? The projector alone is going to cost you the money. Not the paint, the projector will cost you money. Because if he's going to sit there on camera and tell you, hey, look, you can get the same image from this projector from that, then why in the world would you even, why would you, the person who's displaying the image, even need that projector to begin with? If this one will do the exact same thing, but it won't. So yeah, reality check, people. You're not going to basically, you're not saving any money at all. Not a dime. You're actually wasting money. But I would love to see somebody actually duplicate the exact same image with a cheaper projector. Because if that's the case, why would anybody go out and buy a P2 when you can just go buy a cheaper projector and do the exact same thing? That's why when I watch, like I said, when I watch demonstrations, the first thing I ask is, what kind of projector are you using in the demonstration? Because that's what's going to tell you at the end of the day how well your picture quality is going to come out. If you're using on a gray screen, say if someone's using a 720p projector versus an 8K projector, do you think they're both going to look the same? No, they're not. If they did look the same, why would you pay the money for the 8K? Why don't you just go to 720p? That's why we use the low-end projectors, people. At the end of the day, like I said, customers relate. So the most that projector would cost you on eBay is $250. That's it. And if you call up the individual and you say, hey, well, how come my screen doesn't look the same way? Mind you, keep in mind, the ambient light that he's using in the environment, he uses it and he changes it. So when he's doing colorful demonstrations, he'll keep the environment nice and bright, but the bright, it isn't really bright at the end of the day. It's still dark. By standards, it's still dark. I'm sorry, people. If you can see dark pockets in the corners and you literally have to lean over top of an object to see exactly what it is, like you can see my sound bar right there with no problem. You can see the outlet, you can see the plug that it's plugged into. You can see all that with no problem whatsoever. If you have to literally get that close to make out an object, see the roll of tape right there on the floor? If you have to get that close to an object to make it out, to get that close and still everything is shadowed by darkness around it, that's not a good sign at all. I already told you before, if you have to get that close to a screen, not a good sign at all. See a contrast level. You should be able to see a contrast level at a distance. Let this play a little bit so that way I run out of time here. Which one goes back to my page. So you should be able to see that with no problem at all, period. If you have to calibrate, that is definitely a problem. Calibrating screens came out with white and gray, actually more like white screens, to bring out their colors a little bit better. So that's a problem right there. And then if you go back and say, hey, look, I turn on a little bit of light to my environment and my screen washed out, what are you going to say? It's not ambient light projection, but you're displaying it as it is ambient light projection. But on the website, clearly says it's not ambient light projection. So if it's not ambient light projection, you shouldn't be displaying any light in the environment whatsoever, because that's misleading to the customers. Because the customers are not using that exact same environment that you're using, or somewhat, your screen's going to wash out. Even in the pictures I've seen with some lighting coming in to the windows, they were all done on very bright colors, something that wouldn't wash out in the demonstrations. And I'm pretty sure they were instructed. We don't instruct our customers. If you notice, you look at our demonstrations, they got contrast levels. One of those from contrast levels in a fully lit environment. We don't basically advise them or tell them what to do, because I mean, we tell them at the end of the day, we're using the direct sunlight because it's not designed for that. But other than that, they can run it wherever they want to. So no, people, you with your light gray screen paint products, you haven't saved a dime. Again, I can make, well, I don't have to make it. I can actually get Sherwin-Williams to match your product at $23 a gallon easily. Does the same thing. And you're still, at the end of the day, going to have to spend the money for the projector. Yes, I've seen the 720p projector with the screen all bent up against the wall. No, that's not even professional. And again, no contrast levels were ever displayed. Nothing but bright colors. Anytime a demonstration is done with a gray screen paint that product, they will always do those bright colors. I didn't see a star field. I didn't see any of the Panasonic dark demonstrations. I didn't even see the goldfish. None of them. got 2 million to 1. There's a guy in there with a projector that has a 10 million to 1 contrast ratio, a JVC. That's how powerful. That's why I said they consider the P2 to be a joke in there. There's no P2s in there. None in those environments. These are high-end setups. 10 million to 1. He's in the dark on a gray screen. That's why he was asking when he was watching the demonstration, he saw the screen and said, what is the contrast level on your projector? When we do them outside, you don't really see the projector. Now, that's 2,000 to 1 right there. You've got to be freaking kidding me. And even at the P2, I'm sorry if you got offended, but yeah, in that area, they're toys. These are people that got some very serious machines in there. Now, everybody else, yes, amazing projector. I do like the projector. But again, in that area with those guys, they're toys. These guys have spent a couple of $1,000s easily for a frame to go up on their wall with a Humphrey Bogart and the lights around it, a couple of $1,000s for that. They have the real setups when it comes to dedicated stuff, the booth in the back with the extended throw lens, and even if you look up their setup, they got the stage and the curtains and the whole 9 yards. One guy even had a concession stand with a his and her bathroom. I was like, what the freak, chandelier and everything. Crazy stuff in there. Yeah, that's the sites, those are the areas we like to go at, because those are where the professionals are at. We're in there because, again, we can drop our stuff in there, and they look at that and it blows them away. Because all of them in there either have, some of them have diamonds, some of them have DMP supernovas. They got crazy screens. Some people have these Storts, what do you call it, the Firehawk G4. They got all of them in there. The Fire G4 is stored. They got all of them in there. These are screens coming from at 150, 120. So you're talking about, one guy had the DMP Supernova at 180. That's an $18,000 projection screen sitting in his room. $18,000 for his screen. Yeah, we got the same thing over here. We got the DMP Supernova here. And I can throw that screen right up against my screen and look, this is my contrast level versus yours. And I'm doing mine in a full environment. You're in the dark. Let's go over to here. So it makes them think at the end of the day how much money I could have saved. Now, next time, when you go purchase a Gray Screen Paint product, feel free to ask the question, hey, my projector is such and so, am I going to get the same image that you got from your projector? And if he says yes, he just lied to you, because you're not. If that's the case, why would anyone buy a P2 at $3,000? You can just buy the projector right here and be cheaper. That's like somebody saying, hey, look, we got a 720p, and we got a 4K laser projector, and they both look exactly the same. It's like, well, one's $3,000, the one's $100. What do you think the person's going to pay for? The one for $100. There must be a difference between these two projectors. The reason why that one costs $3 grand and that one's $100. So if the $3,000 projector is being used in a demonstration, the picture quality is going to be much more advanced than one for $100. So no, you're not going to get the same image. In order to get that quality, you got to spend $3 grand. So where are you saving any money at? A lot of people didn't look at it that way when they were looking at the screen. We saw it. I got to get ready for customer demonstrations in a few minutes. Even more interesting, when I watch a customer willing to paint over a $7,000 screen for our black technology to advance his contrast level colors and ambient light projection technology. You're talking about the project JVC, that monster, that one guy in that monster JVC he had in there. When that thing hits that black screen, it is going to blow his mind. And mind you, He's going to brag about it, and people are going to come. I'm pretty sure there's quite a few people that walk through that area and see that screen, and they're going to ask him, "Where did you get that technology from?" Guess what? Our name's going to pop up. I like the demonstrations. They have really, really, really good demonstrations.
What makes Febreze air pets different? While cheaper aerosols rely on artificial repellents, Febreze uses 100% natural repellent. Check it out. Pressure created by what's in your air makes the bottle spray, which means freshness everyone will love. Febreze.
That's what I love about the best thing Facebook and YouTube could have did was live demonstrations. The best thing. Yeah, good luck trying to convince somebody that our products come up that dark when they just watch that demonstration live stream right through one of their forum sites. They're only going to see you as you are. Like I said, well, you got people out there that are just angry and upset all day. Get a garden or something. Literally, seriously, get a garden. You need a hobby. They're angry and upset over this black technology. Very upset. See the background? This is what I try to explain. When you watch this demonstration, and I love it when I see it on gray screens, it's all washed out in the corners, or like I said, they got to be in a dark environment, or try to get an expensive projector to try to mimic contrast level. But at the end of the day, and I know I say that a lot, you are not picking up a 100% black level. Your black level is gray. It's not black. It's kind of like pixel shifting when you think about it. When you use the high-end projectors with the really high caliber, you're getting kind of a pixel shifting contrast. You're not actually seeing black. So you really think you're seeing a black surface. You're not. You're actually seeing gray. Now, that's by itself. You stick that against our product, we're turning your screen into a white sheet of paper at the end of the day, even in the dark. That is a 100% black level. And we don't have to be on top of the screen to show you, do we? Do I have to be right here to show you? I don't, do I? And even that, my screen is even darker than the display. And yet no screen can match that screen right there. Did you know that, did you? Yeah, that screen's actually darker than the display. It's pulling off right now. And yet I can take any certified screen out of my category, any gray screen paint mix, and it will never match what's being displayed right there in the center in this environment. Never. Not even with the lights out. It won't even match it. Not even close. And yet the image that it's displaying right now, it's not even darker than my screen. That's how heavy the black levels are on the technology. And one of the most important things, people, and it's not so important, even the screen looks gorgeous, even when the projector's off. You don't have to look at this outdated, washed out gray screen. Look how beautiful that looks. That's another thing I displayed. You get people that are all into your how your theater room looks. You want to look a certain way and something. You know how gorgeous that looks laying on your wall, even without the screen, even the projector on. But yet you have this gray, boring, dull screen laying against your wall. Not to be disrespectful, but that's what it is. It's dull, it's gray, and it's boring. Can you imagine if all the electronics you had in your house had that same gray, dull look to it? It looks ugly. Welcome to the future. Now, some people are saying, oh, but that's rude. No, it's not really disrespectful. It's telling you like it is. That's what it is. Gray screen paint products are going to cost you more money. Number one, you can make it yourself for cheaper because they have no way of backing their products up against any of the products we use over here. That's a huge red flag. Number two, you're not going to get the same results as the expensive projector being used in the demonstration compared to the one that you have. Not even gonna happen. That leisure projector, are you kidding me? Versus a, are you, no, not gonna happen. Never. Let's grab this one over here. But if they ever want to do a projector comparison, we can. I got a projector downstairs at 600 by 800 720p at 127 inches, 1610. That sits in a bay of windows. We don't have doors open up to the side to show how much light's in the screen. We don't have windows sitting behind it. That thing sits in windows. Projector sits back 18 feet. I can wash out any screen I want laying against that technology. Going to the next room, we got another projector at 148 inches, 150 inches, straight to the ceiling. I can turn the lights on. I can watch a football game and on the ceiling or on the wall and read a newspaper at the same time. Everything down in that bar runs on 720p. That's what we paid for. $60 for one projector. That's the front room. $300 for the Sony on the floor, and $139 for the projector projecting on the ceiling. Ain't a lot of money. Look at how beautiful that comes up. No calibrating, none of that. You want to go on about how light gray screens pick up a much higher white level. Well, again, like I said, that's a bad thing. Because at the end of the day, if your screen's picking up too high of a white level, it means your colors are going to wash out and you can't see contrast. Your white levels are way too high. The higher the lumen projector you hit it with, the faster the washout. Take it outside, you want to wash out even faster. What you just described is a white projection screen. If you want to go on white levels, then the white screen's going to be more superior. So, really quick, where does the gray screen fall at? Again, I told you about this. It doesn't have the ability to produce an amazing black level, so it doesn't fall anywhere in the gunmetal or black screen category. It can't pick up an ultra white level because that's the white screens do that. So what does it have? Nothing. The only thing the gray screen was designed to do was to outperform the white screen. That's all it was designed to do. Until the gunmetal came in and murdered it. And that's pretty much happened. The only reason why people went with the darker mixes, the gray mixes, because it could produce a better contrast. And we knew the white levels were going to drop, but it could produce better contrast and color than a white screen. And it can maintain just a little bit better in some light environments. That's it. That was the purpose of it. But now you have a screen that's gunmetal that can produce a darker contrast, better colors, and maintain white levels. So your product on your wall right now is old and outdated, and you're not saving any money because, like I said, any gray product on the face of the planet will match it. It shows no difference. You're just going to spend a lot of money for a projector in order to get the screen to look good. That's what you're going to have to do. So I don't know where you're saving any money at. If that was the case, the woman sitting on the roof with the plexiglass would have been able to pull the contrast level so dark her black bars would have pulled up, but they didn't. They actually turned tan and they faded into the screen. And it's different because they have different sections of form sites. Some form sites have the gray paint products in there. Other form sites have the expensive screens. I mean, crazy expensive screens that bigger than 100 inches. So you know they paid some money for those screens. And even those will tell you in there. Never mind, they talk back and forth. The ones with the great paint products, nice setups and all. But then you got the other ones that have the elitists. They have the $20,000, $30,000, $18,000, $5,000, $6,000, $9,000 projection screens sitting there. Their comment on gray screen paint products are the junk, finger paint. That's all it is. Can't produce contrast level next to a gunmetal. Can't gunmetals can maintain white levels. They produce better color. They consider the gray products to be junk. Interesting thing, when our technology walks in there, we have all their samples over here. We can overpower the screens with no problem, even with a cheaper projector in a flooded environment, but you're not used to being in. That's why the 18 certified screen and above test is important. Because if you have to go head to head with somebody who has the money to be able to pay for that kind of technology, you have to show at the end of the day why yours is always going to be better. And because our screens are jet black, we can maintain a contrast level that gunmetals can't maintain. We can produce colors that gunmetals can't maintain. And we can produce a high enough white level to be able to match or blend into a gunmetal. And we're cheaper. So that's what hits them at the end of the day. The performance, how well the room is lit, and the fact that that's a screen at the end of the day. It's not going to cost them $6,000, $7,000, even $5,000. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. I like that. I need a picture of that. That is gorgeous. That kind of color and everything pops. This is a great demonstration for the Forma site right there. Right there. That's a perfect image for the Forma site. Oh, thank you. See? So when I go into a Forma site, I can say, well, who's got the daylight screen, the new one? I can't say a parallax, I would butcher the day. So who has that screen? And some people are like, yeah, I got that one right over here. How much did you pay for your screen? What's your projector using in the back? Well, I'm using so and so and so. I paid about $15,000 for the projector. It's a Sony Bravo, whatever, so and so and so. That's what I paid for it. Yeah, I got that screen right there. How big is your screen? About 150 inches. Ooh, well, man, it's a lot of money, right? This is my projector right here. My projector over here is the Chrissy LW 400. This projector right here cost me around $109. That is your screen laying against my screen right now. What the heck is your contrast? My contrast is only 2000 to 1. That's it. Or 720p. That's it. There you go. Customer that quick, that fast. Because he just spent a ton of money for that screen. Sorry, do you like to do this to you? But he just spent a lot of money for that screen and a lot of money for that projector sitting in the background. And he is nowhere near in the environment that I'm sitting at right now. He's in the dark right now. And so am I. So I'm in the dark too. So if they tell me to turn the lights out and they think that the screen's going to get a better image, well, keep in mind, you still have to be in the dark with a machine that costs a ton of money and a screen that's extremely expensive. Now, I'm talking on the line of not the gray screen paint products. I'm talking people I deal with certified screens on a daily basis. I'm talking with them. When I sit there and go, well, my lights are out right now. We're in the dark right now, right? So why is my technology producing better? You want to get a little closer to the screen so you can see it? There you go. And how much is that screen you paid for? There you go. So as I said before, if I wanted to get $5,000 for a quart of our product paints up to 120 inch screen, I could easily get that with no problem whatsoever. And for you naysayers that want to sit there and argue and get mad and figure out why my paint costs the way it does, and it's extremely reasonable, consider the fact that this is going to cost you $5,000. This is a screen that beat the beat the UV mix. Now I know if you can't beat this screen right here, I know at the end of the day you can't make black technology. Anyone to contrast over here? Let's stick it right over here. That's just on the black level. Okay, so like I said, the reason why we can get that kind of money for our product and the reason why our customers will pay it because, as I said before, it's a $5,000 screen. That's the same screen that blew out a UV mix with no problem whatsoever. Crushed it with no problem. Against our technology, it can't hold up. I sit there on camera, if I sit there and tell you that, look, that our screen is actually darker than the actual video that's being displayed in blackness. And even with it being on here, there's no gray screen or gray screen paints or certified screen that's going to be able to match that technology. Back it up. All right, people, so as you see that we don't save you hundreds, we save you thousands of dollars. You don't have to go out and spend the money for an expensive projector. You don't have to be stuck in a dark environment. You don't have to calibrate or for sure they're compatible. You can use it outside if you want to. And yeah, easy to paint. Doesn't take you 4 applications and 5 to 7 days to dry. I need that picture right there. Oh, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. We need that for the whatchamacallit phone. I was gonna give me a commercial. We can just go back to it. Oh, finally got cereal watching part. Oh, it was Saturday, wasn't I past Saturday? Man, I was working so much earlier, forgot it was, forgot it was Sunday. Literally forgot it was Sunday. I'm gonna have some ball. This projector's staying here. We're not changing this out. This is staying here. This is a 720p projector. We're keeping this here. I'll get me a couple more of these, so I'll get me a pallet. But if you ever want to do a projector specification, let me know. I'll give you the specifications on my projector. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look at that right now. Let's have a look at the specification. We gotta look at this. We have to see this. Let's go together real quick. We got the fire sticks over here. Let me see. And I'm gonna use the big boys over here. This thing fired up? Yeah, we use this one right here. I got my Sony hooked up to my computer in here. It's that big blinding light right there. That's the light coming from my ceiling hitting my screen. Let me see, where's my mouse? What are you looking here? Oh, what am I doing? Mouse is over here. Mouse is over here. Keyboard's over here. What are you doing? Let me see. See, nice, ain't it? Working in a fully lit environment. Don't have to be stuck in the dark. Change out my, I'm doing my computer work in here now. Oh, I do my computer, but I changed out the computer on here. I'm gonna go back to the portrait mode, but the projector we use for portrait mode is actually in the next room. So I bought me another one. So I can use that one in here and use the other one there because I need the other projector for demonstrations. Let me see. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. I don't have to use that freaking browser. I hate that browser. Let me see. Let's go over to. Yeah, there we go. Oops. Guys can't see that. That is my Hotmail account. Business accounts are coming up through there. Ooh, thank you, Jesus. I ain't gonna tell you what I just made, but I'm gonna leave that one alone. Yeah, I tell you, man, that black technology, I'm telling you, is a beast. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, shoot. Wow. Thank you, Lord. Here it comes already. I'm gonna be busy all this week. I'm gonna bulk up. I'm gonna buy a lot of stuff. Oh, God, it's good. God, it's good. God, it's good. God, it's good. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I can't show you that. Those are orders coming through. So let me go over here. All right. Perfect. Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. All right, let me get out of here real quick. I'm gonna take this account out of the gun. Y'all need to see what's going on in there. That's my account. I told you posted in that site. Yeah, we got a lot of people, man, chopping the drawers on that black screen, boy. That's what I told you, man. I'm so used to. I'm happy that people are. And I'm not even gonna talk about this, man. I'm gonna keep humble on this. I'm gonna keep humble on this because that's what the devil want me to do. The devil want me to talk about this and that. I'm not even gonna entertain it. Pop the man. I'm gonna keep everything nice and quiet. Thank you, Jesus. That's an amazing blessing. I can't wait till this summer. We got 2 more contracts activating. Oh yeah, I told you about the person who's going to be putting in a drive-through movie theater. They're going to be using our black technology on there. The reason why is because I told you our screens activate. Mind you, the projector we're using in the backyard is like 4,000 lumens. They're using like 10, 20, 30, 50,000 lumen projectors. You have an idea what that stuff is going to look like on a 50,000 lumen projector, a movie projector at that? That means they can activate. We activate at 453. They're going to be able to activate that projector easy. That screen's going to activate easy probably around 5 o'clock. So that means 5, 6, 7, 8. They're going to start making their money. Where anybody with a white screen has to wait to somewhere between 8, 9, and 10 to make their money. That's why they're investing the money into the technology. I'm not going to leave this alone. Do you know how many gallons of paint it takes to paint a screen that size? These are massive screens. They're over 1,000. They're way over 1,000. Whew, man, it's going to be something else right there. And it's going to be something else. I'm definitely going to have to bring in a work crew. Not here. I got to actually rent warehouse space for that. I really have to rent warehouse space and machinery to run that. Yeah, I know how to do it, but like I said, I got a work crew already lined up. They're going to help me with it. That's a lot of freaking paint. That's something like anywhere between 3,000, 4,000 gallons of paint. It's a lot of freaking paint. I added it up. It's a lot. You have to add up how much per square, and oh yeah, it's crazy. And they don't care. They want it up there because they know they're going to make their money back. All right, I need to go into we got that right down so we can ship that out right there right away. We need to go into Projector Center. We're in Projector Center today. Let's see. That's me downstairs. This is the current events and all that stuff. Like current events. Look out the window. God is good. God is definitely good. Thank you, Jesus. Let me see. Projector Central. Projector Central. There we go. All right, people. Sorry about that. On that, I'm very, very private about my customers' information. I do not do that at all, period. Very private about it. All right, Projector Central. Now, if you're basically building a projection screen for the first time and you don't know what you're doing, you don't know your size or your measurements, that's not Projector Central is fantastic for that. So let's go over to Projector Central. The BenQ. Yeah, gaming projector. I bet you're gonna show it up on a white screen. Why do they take gaming projectors and show them up on white and gray screens? You know that the gaming requires like serious contrast levels. All right, so let's go over to our search. Let's check out my projectors. Let's check out the P2 first. P2. I mentioned it already. P2 Optima. Right there. P2 Optima. Let me see. That's the black one. Oh, they make it in black. In 2020. Yeah, 2 to 1 contrast. It wasn't all right on that one. All right, let me see. No, we don't need all that. Thank you. We don't deal with Let's see, that projector is actually around $3,300 versus my $109 projector. That's what you're gonna have to pay. If you want that, you might get it for $3,000, but most likely you're gonna pay either around, if you get a refurbished one, you get it for like maybe $25, but you're gonna pay around that price for it. To get that image to pull up like that. Now, if I'm wrong on this, that person shouldn't have a problem with swapping out their projector and basically putting in a 720p for a year. Because matter of fact, I'll make it a little easier. 6 months. I can keep my projector downstairs is permanent. My 600 by 800 res is permanent. I mounted that thing to the ceiling, so that's not going anywhere. That's going to be there for forever. But yeah, I want to see him swap out the projector. My projector there was a powerful machine. It was a Christie 5000 lumen 1920 by 1200. It's a Venue. That thing has a liquid crystal in it. That thing is a very powerful machine. That's what I had downstairs. I swapped that out for a 600 by 800 SVGA 720p. That is a bottom dollar projector at $150. The original price for my projector would have cost me $300 if I paid the full price. The original price for that machine in the back, 20 grand without a lens. So if it's the screen paint doing all the work, then it shouldn't be a problem swapping it out for 6 months. Matter of fact, mine'll just make it a year because mine's, like I said, mine's permanently installed in. Mine's not going anywhere, and I plan to keep it there. Let's see, AED PX2. We got these specifications here. AED, give me, let me see, no, we don't need all that. I can't stand when the pop-ups come up. Here we go. This is what I wanted. Specifications. So let me see on this projector specifications. We have, let's see, we have a 3000 to 1, a 3000. All right there, specification right there. What is the, right there, 10-bit, right there. Right, you got the resolution, right there, check it all out. Right there. This is what you're gonna have to have on your projector in order to be able to pull that same image. This is what you're gonna need. Now our projector is 4,000 lumens, but our projector isn't short though either. Our projector basically sits back around 14 feet from the screen. And we're in ambient light. And there's your lamp right there. It's laser. Look at that right there, lamp type, laser, right? That's what you can max it out to. All right, so that's a pretty powerful machine, ain't it? That's what you're gonna have to spend to get your image up like that. Let's see what our customers are gonna be spending for theirs. Let me see. Let's go to see what my customers are gonna be doing for ours. Let's see. Chrissy 505. We don't want that one. I want the Chrissy LW 400. This is the projector we're using in the room. This one's in black, but they make them in black and they also make them in white. Let's go take a look at my projector specifications. My projector has a 4,000 to 1. There is my 1280 by 800. My contrast at expert. Oh, wait. My contrast is what? Whoa! My contrast is lower than I thought it was. I thought my contrast was 2,000. My contrast is 1,000 to 1 on my screen back. Oh, you gotta be freaking kidding me. I literally thought I was somewhere at around 2,000. I'm actually lower than I actually, wow, 1,001. That's actually quite impressive. All right, 1,001. That's good to know. All right, 8-bit with the color type. The color display is 8-bit. 720p, only just a 7 in the eye. Look at the max resolution, all I can get out of my projector. Big difference, isn't it? Huge, massive difference. I'm shocked myself. I thought that projector was, whatchamacallit? Look, they're right there. That's my projector right there. You can see they match up. That's the Chrissy LW400. I thought my projector was 2,000. It's 1,000 to 1? That's even better. Oh, we got the sun coming up too, man. So that thing is picking up that ultra black level at a 1,000 to 1 contrast. And as I showed you my projector, it's pretty bottom dollar, right? The one I had downstairs is lower than this, but it's pretty bottom dollar. And this would cost you about $100 on eBay. And the most you would pay for it is going to be around $250 compared to a projector that's going to cost you anywhere, if you're lucky, they get it for $3,000, but it's pretty much going to cost you probably $3,300. And it can't maintain a contrast level. The individual has to get that close to the screen in order to show you the contrast level from a projector that powerful and that's sitting that close to the screen. Mine is sitting right up on top of the screen. It's ultra short throw at 3,000 lumens. I lose 1,000 lumens or so. When this room is fully lit environment, this is 4,000 lumens. I'll lose a couple thousand lumens in this fully lit environment. He's doing this in an ambient light controlled environment, a dark environment at that. Are you kidding me? That's a huge major red flag. So no, you're not saving any money at all. You're not saving jack at the end of the day. I didn't think my contrast was that low, 1,000. Wow. I never knew that. You're not saving any money. You're not saving jack. You're gonna have to spend money to make that screen look good. That's what it's gonna come down to. That's the kind of power he's got laying against that screen right now. You're gonna have to spend some money. That is not gonna happen. And the minute you go in and you complain, mind you, his policies, if it lands on your property, is yours. You're stuck with it. And keep in mind, if you complain and you say, hey, look, I turn my lights on and my screen washes out like that, because it will wash out. The first he's going to say is, my ambient light rejection. It's right there on the website. It's not ambient light rejection. And anything that's not ambient light rejection, even if it's gray, is outdated. Because everything is ambient light rejection technology now. Or if he's saying that it's not ambient light rejection, I don't need it. Oh, definitely, you need it. You definitely need it at the end of the day, because, like, again, you're demonstrating, even your pictures on your website showing off your products are dark. Man, 1,000 lumens, that is not bad. I open my windows. Ooh, the sun is coming out. I'm trying to open up the windows. Okay, a little more. Just one little bit long demonstration. I want to enjoy some of this weather right here. We got the window light coming. We got to use the window light. I love to show off my screens when the window light come in. Didn't know that. 1,000 lumens contrasted to 1,001. Wow. You know why I'm so happy about that? Because that means my customers at the end of the day can use 1,000 to 1 on a projector and still maintain a contrast level so dark that a freaking P2 at 2 million to 1 can't pull in a fully lit environment, even when it's hugging the screen. Freaking love it. I didn't even know. I gotta get some more of those. Yeah, that's saving them thousands of dollars. Thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, like I said, I'm not calling him a fake, not calling him a scammer, none of that, none at all. I'm showing you facts. At the end of the day, you're spending more money on a gray screen, because now you have to buy a super enhanced projector to make up for what your screen can't do. Because you can't do this, you're definitely not doing this. Your screen would wash out just like that. So where are you saving money? And until he tests those products against those other great products out there, you need to understand that you can make it yourself. And that's true, you can make it yourself. Now, if anybody was sitting there and say, well, what about you? Oh, we've done it already. We did it last year. We made 4 black products, paint, made the demonstrations, put the ingredients up, put them against our own screens, and each one of them failed. Did it already. What about your product versus black paint? Been there, done it. What about fabric? Been there, done it. What about film? Been there, done it. Dude, and at one point in the video, we had 1,000 lumen projector downstairs in a max out zone, and we were still producing a higher white level. At one point, I threw a hoodie, t-shirts. We just threw anything against the screen, even plastic, whatever. Just threw it up there. And none of it could basically produce a high enough white level like our technology. So we've done it already. And they haven't performed any of these tests yet. So now you got questions here. How do you know you're getting the real thing at the end of the day? You're not getting house paint. And the fact that you're going to have to still spend a ton of money for a projector just to be able to pick up the image, and you still won't be in a fully lit environment, and you still can't see contrast or color. When we're doing this, I love it. I freaking love it. I haven't seen cartoons in a while too. I might take the day off and have some. I got orders to check out. Got to do that today. We got orders that bounce to the account, which you know your business email all day today. But I do want to do the customer demonstrations before we I do anything else today. I want to get them taken care of, because I have demonstrations for people who have actually ordered the blackout cloth surface chicken, showing those off. Now, for those of you who didn't get the link for the wallpaper surface the first time, I will put it at the bottom. You can go to Amazon and buy the surface. It's the surface that we got. We coated it. We didn't use a paint sprayer. We went over top of it with a roller. Now, I've done 3 applications, but I'm telling you the short way to do this. Next time around, I'm doing 3 more of these for myself. You want to actually prime the surface first because the fiberglass is a little bit more slicker than the than plexiglass. Plexiglass can roll with that with no problem, but the fiberglass is a little different. So just prime it first, apply your application, and you're done. That's it. And if you want to know where we get the surface at, we get the surface on Amazon for $28. Much cheaper than doing plexiglass. I've done plexiglass in the past, and plexiglass can easily cost you an easy $200 for a 4x8, and it's heavy, very heavy. This right here is lightweight. This is actually hanging by 3 pieces of Velcro. That's it. Every time we show this off, people think it's actually painted to the wall. Nope, it's just hanging. Easy to store. You roll them up, put them back in the box. Won't crack, won't peel. And you know the technology is weatherproof because we have a screen that's still sitting outside in snow, sleet, rain, no 9 yards, out in the backyard at 150 inches. That man, we've been through 3 windstorms already. A couple of heavy windstorms back there. Look how black, look at that blackness, look at the black. Tell me how insane it is. And on top of that, even when the projector's off, the screen looks absolutely incredible. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that screen looks. Instead of having a dull gray screen up there, now you got your black screen, a part of the future. Keep in mind, you got your black cell phone screens, you got your OLED displays and VRs, you got your computer monitors. I got a few of them laying around the house, you're doing to your computer for a program or a game, whatever. All those monitors are black, and then you got this big old gray screen sticking on your wall. Imagine that surrounded with some nice black speakers with the gold cones, which I'm planning to think about getting myself. We definitely gonna do a motorized projection screen. I'm doing a motorized projection screen from scratch. So I'm getting a motorized projection screen with an all black casing. And then we're gonna expand our screen size because we can do that because this paint's black. Make it a little larger than what it is. Didn't I order soda the last time? I ordered for soda, didn't I? I did order, I'm sure. You guys is amazing, absolutely amazing. I didn't think you were going to pick up that quick. But for those who know, we went to a couple of form sites today, some really heavy form sites with some real serious equipment in there running, and we showed off our technology in there, and yeah, the questions came at us like crazy. Oh, I like the doubters. I love the doubters. That's why I said testing is important. All those crazy test demonstrations that we do, and people say, oh, that's not, yeah, it's necessary. It's very necessary. That's why we're able to back up everything they came at us with. What if it's black paint? People can't say, oh, I can do this with black paint. I can do, here you go. Here's the demonstrations right here. That demonstration we drawn on the screen, oh, that killed everything. That knocked out all doubt in the room right from the door. It's like watching the air being sucked out of a room. Nobody had nothing to say. That debunked every theory they ever thought of. That's why you got to do those crazy demonstrations. What about your screen? It's an ambient light projection. Here's my screen outside at 150 inches, and they can see it's daytime out there. That's right there. That pretty much sums up what can you. If that thing is producing a screen that big outside, inside it's a cakewalk. All the demonstrations we had. What about ceiling light projection technology? Oh, my screen has ceiling light. Oh, you do, huh? Here's one. I got a screen actually sitting on the ceiling with the lights on. That tears down that theory about the ultra short throw demonstrations on ultra short throws, the ceiling light projection. We got them here. Done that already. Displayed those. Is it weatherproof? We have a screen displayed in a after a snowstorm that debunks that theory. That's why we do all those insane demonstrations like I'm doing right now as I'm having this conversation with you and talking about our insane demonstrations as I'm sitting here in a fully lit environment displaying contrast in color and white levels on a $28 sheet of fiberglass on a $109 projector. Boom, 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 boom. Watch this. A screen to maintain Even at 190, I can hit my wall and you'll still see it. That's why when you see me do demonstrations and I walk across the room and you see my screen display here and I turn there, my screen is displayed there. We gotta stand back here. I want the view from back here. From back over here. All right, people, I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna have an extremely busy day today. I got the scaffold set up right now because we're gonna be doing some demonstrations on the customers who put orders in for the acoustic technology. We're gonna be showing that off. We have that to do too today. I love this one right here. This is a good demonstration. I'm sorry. And just so much to show you at the end of the day. I know I go too long on videos, but there's just so much to show you. And it's a shame because the demonstrations you're seeing, they're not showing you crap at the end of the day. They're not showing you nothing. Here's the screen, dark environment, calibrated projector. Whoo, video go past, we're done. No, there's so much stuff you're supposed to see. There's so many applications of videos you're supposed to be see. White levels, contrast, color, the whole 9 yards. They only stick to what they can show you and what they can get away with. Since we're seeing a lot more than that. What's going on with this right here? Even the commercials look insane. Oh, this is going to be amazing. This guy does really good dark contrast and color videos. Let's have the window right here. Where it's being displayed. I wish they made this service in a bigger size. I swear, I would love to have this at 150 inches. That's why we're gonna make them ourselves. Now, for those of you who want to take this as, oh, you know, you coming at, no. It's changing of technology. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with maybe he done nasty stuff to me, or it's anybody with gray screen paint. It's not just one individual. Please get off that horse for a minute. Come down here with the rest of us and let's have a conversation, okay? It's not about that. That technology is no longer needed. Period. It went out. It completely went out when the gunmetals first displayed themselves. Look at that. Look how beautiful that looks. And if you notice, you can see my corners in my environment. That's why I tell people, you watch a demonstration, always look at the background of where the screen is at. If you can't see corners, if you see shadows, that environment is dark. I don't care if they do open up a door or pop some windows open. No, that environment is dark. But no buts around it. That environment is dark. A little more. Write down these already. Here we go. There's no ifs, ands, and buts around it. That environment is dark. Even consider the fact that a lot of them like to lean on ultra short throw projectors because again, the distance throw isn't there. And they will end up with a much more brighter image knowing that 3000 lumens doesn't have to travel as far as 14 or 15 feet from the screen. So when they go back and they point to the windows, that doesn't mean jack when you're pointing at the window when you're using the ultra short throw. Unless the environment, if you're looking at the walls, are basically showing off the corners, you can see everything nice and bright, there's plenty of light hitting the screen, then ultra short throw, yeah, it's good and well to use. But you shouldn't be dependent on every video with ultra short throw. If every video is popping up with an ultra short throw display to it, just about most of them, that shows you that they are depending on the ultra short throw due to the fact that it's a shorter distance and they're going to be to maintain their color and contrast to a certain degree due to the fact that the projector has a shorter distance. You do know the farther back a projector, the more light you have in the environment, the more your lumens are going to start to drop off before you make destination to the screen. So that's why long throw projectors basically have more power or more lumen counts than basically you would have with an ultra short throw. An ultra short throw needs to have lower because, like I said, they're sitting right on top of the screen. That's why I like bringing out the 1,000 lumen projector in a max out zone and showing the white levels versus black screens or black fabrics or whatever, because it's more of a challenge to us. Do you have any idea how far 1,000 lumens will last in a max out zone at 14 feet? Even worse when they're outside. There you go. So no, I don't consider that to be impressive when someone's showing an ultra short projector that's only kissing the screen at 2 feet and 2 inches at 3,000 lumens. That's not impressive. And still the environment is dark. Take an ultra short though projector, you stick that against the screen, you take 1,000 lumens, guess which one's going to hit the screen first? So if your windows are in the back and that projector is sitting up there in the front, the distance though is much shorter. I don't know, people don't pick up on that stuff. But then again, like I said, they don't expect to talk to people like me at the end of the day. They expect to talk to people who do not know this at all. And the best person for them to talk to is somebody who knows nothing about projection setup. Those are the favorite ones. Those are the ones they can fool. But like I said, pick that product on one of those professional high-grade forum sites, see what happens to you. They'll probably ask you questions you don't even understand. I like those colors, those colors. Philips 4K demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
Bright colors in a fluid environment for us, with contrast, is just too easy. But then again, at the end of the day, they can't produce it. Let me just do some colors right here. Alexis, what time is it?
It's 6:41 a.m.
6:41 a.m. Now, as I said before, not to be rude here, and don't take it the wrong way, but the individual keeps doing those Windows videos with the windows open, again, stop doing it. It's misleading to your customers. You're really not blocking any window light. When I told you, anytime you do a demonstration involving window light, there can be nothing in the windows distracting anything. Well, you can have some things in the window, but you know, I'm talking about heavy bookcases, huge lamps. I've seen huge lamps, huge plants in the window. Anything to give it the illusion that there's light coming in, but there's really no light coming in. This is, and I want to turn this like my customers think, my neighbors think I'm recording, but they know what I do. This is what you have to have. This is how it has to look. Not a big bookshelf right here and very little light because you have all these objects in there blocking all the light. See right here? I want to open this one up, but this is right next to my neighbor's house. They know what I do, but I don't want to make their lives uncomfortable. But anyway, as you can see, but then again, the curtains are over near, so you can see my hand crystal clear and the remote control and all that, so light travels through. But I hate it when people do demonstrations. Look at the light over here. Number one, your projector, again, is kissing the screen. So your distance throw is not there. My projector sits in the window. Number two, you have dark shadows that reflect in your area. We don't have dark shadows in here. See, no dark shadows. And as you can see, my windows are open where you can see objects on the other side, like my neighbor's cars across the street and their houses and stuff like that. You can see the tree right out there. So we have plenty of light. My screen is not tucked away with a bookcase here and a bookcase back here. No, there are windows next to my screen. I see this every time, and not just his, a lot of demonstrations we go through, we see a lot of people doing this. And again, either they'll stick to an ultra short throw, mainly it'll be an ultra short throw. So that way they can be right up on top of the screen so that they won't lose too much picture quality. There's the colors. Let's go over to the window. Dark environment. I don't know how. Philips Hue HDMI box. Okay. $1,000 for one. That's crazy. I didn't think about that. That was 2,000. Way lower than what I was thought it was gonna be. Now, keep in mind, like I said, gray screen paint products that other people that make no offense to them at all, period, they keep it true. I've been there, I've watched the video demonstrations, they keep it true. They never over embellish the product. There's only two individuals that do this at the end of the day, and you know who you are. Making claims that your screen paints can pull contrast equal to a black screen and then doing demonstrations in the dark. You never do demonstrations like that. I don't understand why. Like this in a fully lit environment with all this light. Never do this at all. Period. Yeah, making accusations that your screen requires a multi-coat that basically polarizes and optimizes the screen, bullcrap. Especially when your screen sat there and matched the home theater wall in your home theater. I had several customers who were laughing their heads off. Sorry about that, but true, were laughing their heads off about that. So yeah, we saw you pointed that out. And then even in your timestamp was way off. We know what we're talking about. Timestamp was way off. If you're telling your video your product takes 5 to 7 days for the screen to dry, but in your timestamp basically shows you doing a screen in August the 13th and August the 12th, that doesn't add up. Because that means if it takes 7 days for the screen to dry, you should have uploaded that around August the 20th. So even that was a lie right there. You don't even know your own product at the end of the day. The multi-screen, I told you that was a bad idea to put in crazy instructions because at the end of the day, customers paint the screen for the first time. Some people have never actually even painted a wall in their entire life. And the first time they're doing it, they don't want to be intimidated with a bunch of crazy instructions at the end of the day. Simple, fast, paint it, be done with it. That's basically about it. It's just stuff in there, man, and that website doesn't make any sense. Distilled water. I mean, come on. That's the most crazy thing I've ever heard of putting distilled water into a product because it works as a delivery system. But you never explain how it works as a delivery system. Because anytime I order paint, I've never had water in my containers. They put water in paint to stretch it, to make it thinner. That's what they do. But they don't ever put water as a delivery system because the paint's going to dry out. If that's the case, every time you ordered a can of paint from Home Depot or Lowe's, it would come there dried out because it needed water. You would find water in the containers of paint. So that's nonsense right there. The whole explaining why Screen Innovation prints on their borders, no, that's nothing new. They've been printing on borders and screens for 1.1 ratio, and that's the old ones that use 35 millimeter film. So that's bullcrap. I've never seen a border on a motorized screen that they virtually impossible. You jam your motor up with no problem. Saying that you couldn't put on multiple coats on a screen, that's bullcrap. I got 3 screens in there that are customized that have more than one coat on them, and they don't jam up. And they're $68 motorized projection screens. This dumb, the stuff they're putting on the website is not true. And I'm sorry. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it. I don't care how many people get upset about this, but if you're offended by this, then you need to go back to school and study math. Because even when people are putting this crazy accusations on their website by saying that 2 quarts of paint, we were, like I said, I've been in 3 forum sites talking about this, and they're just laughing their heads like, who the freak said this? I didn't mention his name because it's not necessary, but 2 quarts of paint, are you kidding me? Into a 300-inch screen? We couldn't get 2 quarts of paint to go into a 250. Wouldn't even fit. I barely didn't put a dent in the screen. You have to at least to prime the screen is going to take you about 2 gallons, 2-3 gallons to prime the screen. So I don't even know how that's even possible. I painted 180-inch on a stucco wall down in the basement. It took a gallon to knock that thing out. There's no way in the world that's ever going to happen. So it just clearly shows you that these are individuals that are not testing their products at the end of the day, because even the knowledge they have on their own products, they can't even put on the website because it just doesn't add up. I hate to say it, the other individual, his instructions were so complicated, he messed up in his demonstrations multiple times and missed steps in his demonstration that he couldn't even remember. So if the person who made it can't even remember his own steps in his demonstration, what the freak is going to happen to you at the end of the day? That's very important that you know your steps in your product as you're basically painting it on. But that whole to court thing, and somebody say, oh, just leave. No, it's not left alone, because that is the most, I'm sorry, and I hate to say this, to call somebody an idiot at the end of the day. And I'm not going back to the site because we're not entertaining it. But common sense would tell you, if you walked into this room right now and you had to decide how much paint you needed to paint this room, most people, if not all, would start off with a gallon. Okay, it'd probably take about a gallon to paint this right here. Even if they're wrong, they're still going to say a gallon. They're not going to come in here and say 2 quarts to paint this room out. Even in your bathroom, you're still not even going to go with 2 quarts. You're still going to go with a gallon in a bathroom. So where in the world would you get the idea that 2 quarts would be able to paint a 300-inch screen? You know how big a 300-inch screen is? So it clearly shows that somebody does not know what they're talking about, even when it comes to painting screens, because if you ever painted an 180-inch screen, and you knew, anyone who's ever painted a 180-inch screen, you would know right from the door that it takes a gallon to knock that out. And from that experience, knowing that it takes a gallon, you would know that anything over 180 inches is going to take a gallon or more. You would know this. This clearly shows a person who doesn't, but this is where we go into the Wile E. Coyote math. We talk Wile, because Wile E. Coyote, basically, if you notice, if you ever watch the cartoons, he's always off by a couple of measurements, and ends up dooming him in the end. You know, he's always off. But anyway, then instead of coming in and fixing the problem and saying, well, hey, look, I made a miscalculation, so and so and so, fine. Everybody makes mistakes at the end of the day. I make mistakes too. I'm not perfect, right? So he goes in and put Wile E. Coyote math into it, Acme Acres math. You take 3 100-inch screens, and that equals a 300-inch screen. I'm not going to do the math. You can figure it out for yourself. 100 inches, 4 feet by 7 feet. A 300-inch screen is 147 by 261. You figure that out for yourself. But yeah, that's virtually impossible. That's Roadrunner math. Noobs usually make those mistakes. When I was a noob, I made that mistake one time. I figured it took if I was going to make a 200-inch screen, it would take about 2 100-inch screens to make it. That's a noob mistake. But he's been painting screens for an extremely long time, so that's not a mistake that should have ever been made. And then it's still on the website because, like I said, out of pride, he refuses to move. But not my problem at the end of the day. The person who's going to buy it's going to figure out in the long run, number one, he's not going to be able to use that screen outside because it's going to wash out and fade. At the end of the day, he's going to have to use a high-end projector, and he's going to come up short on paint. And let me explain from somebody who has experience of dealing with companies who have screens that big. A 300-inch screen usually will not go into a house. It's just something that's going to be used for a backyard event, venue, something big. You're going to have this big gathering. And if you're going to have a big gathering, that means the person who has the 300 screen has to have something to strap it to. So either he's going to have an inflatable, or oh, good gracious, inflatable, man. I told you about the theory about certain surfaces that you can't paint on with inflatable screens. Inflatable screens are very, very, very temperamental. That's a whole nother theory. I'll explain to you about that one later. Those suckers will crack, peel, and uplift from the surface easily if you don't know what you're doing. You could really mess up someone's screen, and a screen that caliber would cost you thousands and thousands of dollars, which means if he's not insured, they could sue him for the screen. But that's none of my business. I'm already from the door. But anyway, if you're using a screen that has grummage, it means you're going to have to get some kind of unit to be able to string this screen up. And usually Carl has these screens for sale, these frames. These frames aren't cheap. And if you're doing a 300 screen, pretty much you're going to put probably a good sound system in. You're going to have a lot of people going to be showing up. You're going to have caterers. It's going to be an event. It's definitely going to be an event. I doubt too many people are going to be sitting there with a 300 screen in their backyard, because you know how far you would have to sit back to nail that screen? Anything too close to that would be a neck breaker. At the end of the day, it would be very uncomfortable. So the odds are somebody's probably going to be using that for an event or a business event. So they're going to be renting a lot of stuff. So usually when they paint a screen like that, they don't do it a week ago. They don't do it a week because they don't want the screen to be folded up. They don't want it to be wrinkled. They want it to be fresh. They want it to be new for the presentation, what they're going to do. The chances are they're going to paint that screen either that night or that day, which the screen is going to be painted. And chances are they're probably going to bring in a crew to paint the screen, because they're going to pay for all that other stuff. They're going to pay for a crew, sound crew and all that stuff, stage crew, all that. They're going to pay for it. And you're telling them 2 quarts are going to paint in a screen that big. What's going to happen is they're going to paint that screen up. They're going to come in short, and you're basically going to end up getting sued in court for doing something stupid, because at the end of the day, you cost somebody a lot of money, and they're going to take it out on you because your measurements were off, and you had to post it on your website as proof that they can screenshot that and say, look, this is the evidence right here. This is on the so-and-so. We wasted money on caterers. We wasted money on this projector. We rented all this stuff. We had this huge event and all that, and we had to downgrade the screen because we didn't have enough paint. There you go. And you think somebody can't take you to court and sue you or put a black eye on your business for that? Yes, they can. So you have to make sure that if you're selling a product, you have to have enough paint left over. That's why when we do the 20 ounce, we had one here, the 20 ounce containers. I could easily go, oh yeah, easy fit a 100-inch screen. But I had to paint that screen in to see if it would fit. Not only were we able to paint the 2 screens downstairs that we had, one was 88 inches. The other one was, the other screen was something like 74, something around that. We painted at 4.3, one was at 16.9. We painted both of those screens in, but we still had enough paint left over to paint. We got to do a pour out. So the pour out means you have to show there's enough paint left over if the customer uses more or less. This screen was painted with a 20 ounce. This is a 4x8. This is actually a little bigger than a 100-inch screen. So we know that right from the door that this container right here can paint that screen over there because we did the test. We didn't guess it. And that's what he did. He guessed it. So you're going to have somebody up there that's going to call you up. They're going to be ranting. They're going to be cursing you out at the end of the day. And they're going to be like, hey, look, we came up short. How fast can you get this paint shipped to us right now? We need it overnight, right now, here, right now, overnight. You're not going to be able to meet that demand because you don't know how much paint it physically takes to paint that screen. So you can't even calculate that. If you came off with only 2 quarts, how would you know the actual how much it takes to paint the screen if your calculation was at 2 quarts? You don't even know because you never painted the screen in, which means you gave the customer false information. Because what he's going to do is he's going to ask the painter. The painter's going to know. The painter's going to look at the screen and go, oh, you need such and so and so and so and so. And he's going to go back asking you with that information that he already knows to see if you know what you're talking about at the end of the day. That's what he's going to do. I've been in this business for over 12 years. I've seen this happen before. He's going to ask that painter. That painter's going to know exactly how much paint it's going to take. And it's going to take so and so and so. That's what it's going to take. The person with that information is going to come back and ask you because already he's doubting you already from the door because you don't even know how much paint it took to paint that screen. And the fact that he has to call you up to fix this problem shows that he does not trust you from the door already. And with that knowledge from the painter, he's going to come back to you and say, okay, how much? Again. And if it's over from because you're going to get nervous and you're going to add more to it because you don't know how much, or you don't want to add less because you already came up with less, so you might add more to it. You might say 2 gallons. And painter can say, no, it's going to take 2 gallons for a gallon and a half, so and so and so. That's what it's going to take. Now he's going to look at you trying to steal from him. That's why you got to know your product like the back of your hand before you post it on the website and before you try to sell it to your customers. You have to know it. I swear, like I said, people do not know business at the end of the day. See, it's not to insult them, it's to give them some knowledge. They should know this stuff already from the door. And you will talk to their painters. I do it all the time. Anytime somebody's doing a giant screen, I get a chance to talk to their painters. And their painters will ask me about this, that, can I run it through a paint sprayer, this, that, and the other, so and so. It's eco-friendly, VOC, it's odorless, all this stuff like that. How much paint would it take to paint so and so and so? I can give them all that information because I have painted in so many screens, it's not even funny. And I used to be a painter back in the day. So yeah, it helps a lot. Because you're picking the brain. And these people have been doing it for maybe, I can talk to somebody who's an expert way beyond what I've ever learned in painting. And they'll sit there and I can talk to the best of them because I know what I'm talking about because I know my product at the end of the day. They may be an expert painter at the end of the day. They may know this, that, and the other, but guess what? I know my product better than you. And I can tell you exactly how much paint it would take to knock that screen out because I painted it already. That's why. So it's not to be rude or be nasty toward these individuals. It's to teach them at the end of the day, if you're going to be talking about your product, be able to back it up and put information on your website that is real and be able to back up whatever you have on your site. Because somebody, sooner or later, is going to catch you on one of those lies. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. Let's see from my window light. See the light is cascading, hitting the screen. There you go. Now, no, the screens won't take direct hits from sunlight, but they'll take the everyday light that comes in. No problem. Starfield screensaver.
Getting that from YouTube.
Oh, got Lucky Charms downstairs. I can't wait. I told you. Isn't that crazy? There's an extra Starfield screensaver and she just bounced me out of that. Starfield screensaver.
Getting that from YouTube.
Yeah, so, the only you're going to get a product, like I said, it's going to cost you a lot more because there's no way you're doing this. You're not doing this. This is mine. We got 1,000 to 1. I thought it was 2,000. 1,001 now. Hey. But you're not going to be able to do this in a fully lit environment. That's never going to happen on a gray screen. Never going to pull up. I don't care what kind of contrast you have when you project. Not going to work. You're definitely going to have to spend money for an expensive projector to even try to maintain some of what you actually. You're going to have the same projector or better in order to get what he's doing in his demonstration. You're just going to have to. So it's going to cost you a lot of money. And even with the projector, because of the screen, because there's nothing wrong with the P2 projector. The P2 projector is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The only problem is, like I said, the projector is being dumbed down because it's on a screen paint that can't give that projector its maximum performance. It's an amazing piece of machinery. Just the only problem is you'll never get a chance to see its full potential. Just like the people who developed this projector behind me right now. When this projector was in its heyday, it was costing about $3,000 and $4,000 for the projector. All they did was display it on white screens. That's all they did, white screens. And they went to the show and they talked about how amazing the color and the contrast and so on and so on. So they bragged about all the specifications. At one point, the specifications on this projector were considered to be quite amazing. But even in that stage, the projector was being dumbed down because it wasn't being hit with this technology. Now, many years later, same projector that probably sits in landfills and thrift shops and on eBay, worth pretty much nothing, is displaying this beautiful image and actually overshadowing certified projection screens and taking on a fully lit environments and showing contrast levels beyond its capabilities, all due to the fact that the technology is being displayed off is giving that projector its day in the sun. That's the beautiful thing about the technology. You don't have to spend all this money for these overpriced projectors. But they tell you you have to, but you don't. Okay, people, hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. I'll go downstairs. I have to be up. I'm already up. We gotta go to sleep. I am going to, I gotta come back in later on, get the scaffold set up. I got 3 demonstrations that I do for customers to show up the screen before we ship them out. Man, I gotta go start making more orders for the orders we have in the account right now. We're gonna ship out, let's see, today is Monday. We're shipping out on Wednesday because I have more supplies coming in. So Wednesday is going to be our ship out date. If you're interested in the product, check it out on the website and order from there. If you live overseas, doesn't make a difference. Our shipping is free no matter where you live at. Gotta go. It's free in the United States, but for those of you overseas worrying about shipping costs, no, it's free. Thank you all. Have to go and God bless.